Well, good day, my friends. It's your old pal Jordan the Lion and your old pal Scott Michaels. He's joining me for an experience at the Ringling Museum here in Sarasota. Days with Jordan the Lion and you all. It begins right now. So here we are, the front of what would have been the house, the Kazan, House of John, Venetian Gothic Palace on Sarasota Bay, palatial home. John and Mabel Ringling was completed in the mid-20s. Mansion and the John and Mabel Ringling Museum of Art, surrounded by lovely gardens and embellished with Italian statuary, were bequeathed to the state, Florida, by the circus magnate in 1936. So they have an art museum in here as well as a circus museum and their house, and I think their graves, so we're gonna see a lot. All right, so we got our tickets. It's $25 a person. That gives you access to the grounds and the art museum, and of course the circus museum, which looks like we are approaching the big show main entrance. I already hear the music. That's one of my favorite things about the circus. A lot of people don't know I have a pretty healthy circus record collection, circus music record collection. Takes up the entire wall. Yes. Wow. That's a lot to take in for sure. Over here we have a ton of old circus posters, not just Ringling, but they also have Sells Floto and the Goodrich Circus. These are some old advertisements. Here they're talking about how important that advertising was to getting the word out. I can already tell this is the room I'm looking for. Whoa. Look at this old picture of the elephants bringing the circus to town, greeting all the townspeople. So that's a stilt walker costume that we were looking at. This would have played circus music to let people know the circus was coming to town. Steam Calliope. Look at this one. Wow. That one's got a full band. This was the street parade that would start the town, start the circus excitement into town. Called it the bandwagon because this was the lead car. Oh, neat. Within the human spirit, there's an innate love of spectacular pageantry and demonstrations of marvelous artistry. For hundreds of years, the circus has captured our imaginations with amazing performances of unbelievable skill and daring. So they have a bunch of the routines here on display, and they show you how they work. I love that. It's called the German Wheel. That is Nick Wallenda. When we were at Bob's Train Car in the last video, that's one of her relatives, our waitress. Nick Wallenda of the famous Wallenda family. He was a wire walker. Whole family was. They had a massive accident in Detroit trying to do their famous routine. One member slipped, ended up killing two of the members. And the reason they specifically have Nick Wallenda in his costume is because they're talking about how he's a 7th generation performer It actually set the Guinness World Record in 2008 for the longest distance and greatest height ever traveled by bicycle on a high wire. Speaking of Walendas, this is one of the Walendas costumes. It says John Ringling brought the Walendas to America in 1928. This was Carl Walenda's crossing Tallulah Gorge outfit. And they have a picture of him actually doing it. So here they give you a little demonstration to show you what the actual wire they walk on is, and then you can try and do it yourself here on the ground. It's interesting, just this morning I was recommended a video. It was an interview with Paul Rubens, Pee Wee Herman, with Conan O'Brien, and Conan was saying, what would you do for a career if you weren't Pee Wee Herman? He said, I grew up in Sarasota and I can tight walk and I can walk on the stilts. I just always thought I would be a circus performer, which is why he ended up doing Big Top Pee Wee. Let's see what's over here. Oh, these are all different gimmicks, like the trapeze bar, juggling rings, globe and ramp on a unicycle. And then, look at that. That was one of the early routines of the wire walkers. Two guys would be walking on a wire here, and they would carry this, and the girl would be sitting on top of that. It's pretty incredible. And then look at this. You know, I just noticed this about the guy on the unicycle. When I came up to the top, it actually like had a little stop there. And the way that they would kind of study these, you can see they had a shoulder bracing right there. And then there's a clown car, and that is actually Lou Jacobs, the clown legend, the face of Ringling Brothers Circus. That's actually his car.
On the other side, you see all that.
See what?
There's on the side that the sea stuff that they use.
And down here, they have one, like a replica of Lou Jacobs, so you can actually see if you can fit in it or how they would do it. But pretty cool to see his actual car and his little gas pump. More clown gags. That's actually Lou Jacobs' sledgehammer from 1951 to 52. And Bill Ballantines' clown shoes. And a giant stick of dynamite. I don't know about that shotgun. Oh, I'm just noticing on Lou Jacobs that the end of the sledgehammer explodes out. That's funny. Now the ice skates, those are Sonia Henny's ice skates. And I think she was one of the people that Liberace was supposed to marry, or he was engaged to at the time, and then all of his fans got upset, so he broke off the engagement. At least I know one time he was engaged to her. Maybe that was somebody else that one happened. There's a pith helmet with a plucked chicken on top, and then they've got a little fish cage. Then over here they're talking about clown college and preparing to be a clown. More clown gags. A giant clock. Gigantic pair of roller skates. Which actually, this is kind of funny, they have that looks like Lou Jacobs using them right there. Or a similar pair. Oversized box of Band-Aids. These are Paul Jung's. And then the mechanical hat with a bird. So there's the hat, and the bird hanging from the little wire that would move around on him. Big giant bat. Silk goose. And that is Barry Lubin's clown outfit. Grandma clown wardrobe. play the character of Grandma. And here you can actually watch a little bit of a circus show. Over here, they have a statue to Harold Ronk, one of the great ringmasters. He was the singing ringman. It says he was known as the singing ringmaster and was the 17th Ringling ringmaster starting in 1957. And for 30 years, he serenaded audience and introduced acts for more than 10,000 performances. This was his actual wardrobe on loan. That is very cool. Wow, what a career. 30 years. This is Dolly Jacobs, aerialist. This was her actual wardrobe. This place is amazing. I love this kind of stuff. She was the daughter of Lou Jacobs, as you can imagine. I figured with that name and being in a circus, that's kind of a family business. She was the daughter of Lou Jacobs, started her career in 1976, and for 8 seasons, she thrilled the audiences with the Roman rings. And in 1984, she joined the Big Apple Circus. Over here we have Charlie Bauman. He's a famous animal trainer. One of the most outstanding animal trainers the 20th century, it says. Starting in 64, he and his tigers joined the Ringling Brothers and Barnum and Bailey. His wife attributed his success in training tigers to his patience, style, and tone of voice. He was an example of civilized behavior between man and beast. Which that seems to be a thing people complained about with the circus as of late, was they didn't like the animals being involved, so Ringling Brothers took a little bit of a break and then brought it back with no animals. So no more tigers and elephants and all that stuff. I don't know. Some people think it's cruelty, and I don't know. To me, it was part of the circus. Let's see what else they have. Oh, Gunther's elephant dressing, or whatever that was. His elephant blanket. Gunther Gable Williams. When I was at the State Fair Theater in Plant City, they have his lion Apollo that he used in the shows on display, taxidermied. The blanket was designed for Gunther, but it doesn't say the name of the elephant, so maybe they use different elephants. Go over here and look at this costume along with the elephant blanket. It's a pretty big elephant blanket. And this says this is for the Puss in Boots show, this costume. It says after designing shows for Las Vegas and Broadway, Don Foote became the costume designer for the Ringling Brothers and Barnum and Bailey Circus in 1970. His wardrobe was known for being very vivid colors. You can see all the sequins that he used on the dresses, make them sparkle on stage. This is a display to one of the most famous acts of the circus, shooting a person out of a cannon. Apparently they had a little demonstration, but it says that it's out of order right now, where it looks like they load something or a little action figure or something into a cannon, and then you get to launch it with this lever and you catch it over here. But not today. So here they have a poster for one of the famous human projectile cannonballs, Hugo Zacchini of the Zacchini family. And here we actually have one of the 1950 wardrobes. It said Ildebrando Zacchini with his sons Edmundo, Hugo, and Bruno perfected the human cannonball act. The act was continued by Silvana Cha-Cha Zacchini, Bruno's daughter, who began her circus career in 1944 at the age of 16, and this was her outfit. And then this is the costume of Bello Knock, who was a famous performer. And it says that he was a 7th generation circus performer. He was a comedy daredevil. There you can see one of his routines. Time magazine at one time named him America's Best Clown. He was best recognized by his 8-inch high red flat top, which you can see right there. And these are showing some of the big head costumes that they would have created for the circus. Mostly made of paper mache. Pretty cool though, oversized heads. These were all Ringling Brothers heads, but this one was actually based off of Buster Keaton, which I figured it was. And then look at this. We've got an elephant driving this car. This is the biggest baby of carriages. Look at this, we got an elephant driving this car. It says the biggest of baby carriages. Specially built for the 1989 season of the Big Apple Circus. This cart was used to carry baby Ned, the newest addition to Buckles Woodrock's elephant family. The cart allowed the baby elephant to be featured in the performances. Anna May, the mother of Elephant, pushed him around the ring. The cart, which is a traditional elephant baby carriage, was later used on other shows. Look at the back of the elephant carriage. It's got little peanuts and a steering wheel for his mom to steer him around. And over here they have a little, like a half a horse in the ground, so that you can kind of recreate the riding of the horse standing on the horse's back, as some of them would do. And this is the costume of performer May Worth. It says when she was 7 years old, May was adopted by the Worth circus family. Her father, Australian circus performer John Edward Zinga, had already begun her acrobatic training. By the age of 10, she was a talented trick rider. She toured with Barnum and Bailey Circus, and she was known as the world's greatest bareback rider. Her act included somersaulting backwards through the rings while on horseback. She retired at the height of her career in 1937 and retired here in Sarasota. And these are her slippers and her silk dress from her performances. Pop into the historic circus gallery, see what's in there. Now we've wandered into the gallery. They have some cool vehicles in here, like the ticket office. I want to check out some of that. Not so much the art today, but this kind of stuff I want to see. The safe. These were some of their original ticket boxes. People would drop the tickets in if they paid for admission. This whole wall is the inside of a tent. Looks like they do some restorations back here. Here we can walk through the Wisconsin Railroad car. John and Mabel Ringling's private Pullman car. You're like, wait a minute, I thought you said that. Yeah, they probably had more than one at different times. This was probably their very, very, very original. Here they are, John and Mabel. Armilda, Mabel Burton, and John Ringling. I'm going to start here in the back because everybody else is up front. This is pretty cool. They have all the windows open so you can see inside everyone. There's the record player, or 78 player. God, it's so cool. Private room here, and your bedroom would have been right behind.
The environmental people were fussing because
A little sink in there.
There's lions, there's elephants in there.
There's your bathtub and toilet. And then, looked like that would have been shared. So whoever was staying over here and over here would share this bathroom. There's a sofa, like a whole card table area. Looks like we have a kitchen. Steel range. Wow, that's pretty cool. Yeah, the history over here is saying this was their 1906 car that they got, the Wisconsin, and then he sold it in 1916 and got Jomar, which is what they're trying to restore at Bob's Train Car Restaurant. Here we have some old wheels for those wagons and calliopes that they would bring in like this. Then look here, they're advertising the albino family and the bearded lady and Big Jim, the Texas giant, and the bird girl, Cuckoo. And these guys, I guess, are just from Mars. Kind of looks like Wayne Coyne from the Flaming Lips, actually. Here we have your basic old circus cannonball mobile, shooting people across the tent for years. Pretty cool. Oh, and it's the zucchinis. This would have been the wagon that brought the elephant in. And then this one would have been for the lions. Trained animals. Then over here, this would have been for probably the tigers. Then here's our pump organ calliope in here. Look at that unicycle. Actually, that's two different unicycles. How do you even get on those? So this case is interesting. It has the socks of P.T. Barnum and the little boots of Tom Thumb, who he treated like a son, basically. Said everything P.T. Barnum gave himself, he gave to Tom Thumb. And if you look in this case, so is this really, really little small, like Bible looking thing. Tom Thumb calendar. Over here, we have the beautiful Mabel Ringling Rose Garden on our way down to the house and the graves. Lots of statues and, of course, roses. There's the house down there at the end, right on the water, with all these beautiful trees and statues all along the way. More of her garden. These you can walk into, they're called banyan trees.
So it's a really Lexi story.
Even if you're not like a circus person, just roaming their grounds is an amazing experience. You might enjoy that. I don't think we can tour the house because it seemed like when we were paying to come in, it was a guided tour. because they had times, and we weren't really looking for a guided tour experience today. As we approach, look at this. Letting us know this is south. So the house sits on the west edge of Florida. Unfortunately, the fountain is kind of chained off right now. Here it is. Looks like maybe you can do a self-guided tour of it. I don't know if I'm going to do it today because I kind of want to save that for maybe another day, another video, but this place is beautiful. I want to see their graves.
Okay. That might not be yours. There's a couple people waiting on that.
I do notice if you look in the center, you can kind of see that there is a J, M, and a big R in that central blue circle for the family crest. So they told me that the graves are off to the right of the house. That looks like that is it Julius Caesar or Augustus Caesar? And we'll check out the water after we get over to the graves. Looks like we have a secret garden. I think their graves are right back there. So right through here, you can't get right to them, but we have 3 graves. First one is Ida, which was John's sister. Ida Ringling North. And in the center you had John Ringling, one of the original brothers. And of course his wife, Mabel Burton Ringling. Yeah, the wait for the house tour is a little bit. I heard him say it when I was over there, so we'll do that another time. Oh, look at these great statues over here, especially this front one. Playing his sweetie a song. And back here, I think the same thing was kind of going on, but he lost his head, lost half the guitar. Well, my friends, I hope you enjoyed our tour today, seeing the Ringling Museum, the grounds, and everything but inside the house. We'll do that another time. I think that warrants its own video. Thank you all for watching. We'll see you next time. Have a great night, and goodbye.